Chapter 10.
The morning after breakfast, Draco caught Harry when he was foolish enough to stray without any Gryffindor allies. "Got some pressing engagement, Potter?" he sneered, yanking him behind a courtyard statue. "In a hurry? Maybe going to witness Hufflepuff's game strategy today." The scene reminded Draco of the cabinet, but he couldn't allow Potter to think he hadn't noticed the surveillance. "Or was it me you were after? Hate to break it to you, Potter, but you're losing your way, as shocking as it is. I'm off to the library." Potter stared, clearly taken aback by the sudden confrontation, which left him unusually quiet. "I mean, surely you didn't think you could hide in plain sight without being seen," Draco taunted as Potter continued his silence. "You've grown out your hair," Potter suddenly commented, eyeing Draco oddly. "It's longer than when I saw you at Diagon Alley." "You haven't had it trimmed?" Telling Potter he'd planned to cut it chin-length to imitate Severus likely wouldn't win him any points. Draco responded, shuffling back while still concealed by the griffin. "Yes, quite longer. You know, hair grows with time. Although, given that wild bush you call a hairstyle, it might be involved in some peculiar activities, like setting off in search of insects for scabbers. Yet, under normal human conditions, hair simply grows." "What are you talking about?" Potter replied, utterly perplexed. "Scabbers. Ron's pet," Draco said, exasperated. "I'm aware Scabbers is Ron's," Potter returned, pushing back that earlier mentioned hair, inadvertently emphasizing his eyes as he did so. "I just don't follow your drift." "How about explaining your spying tactics, Potter? Or should I inform my Quidditch leader? Maybe Professor McGonagall would be interested." "Your Quidditch leader," Potter broke in. "So you've made the team? You're the seeker now." Draco's pace quickened at the thought that Potter might be checking if he'd become the seeker. Draco had been diligently updating Hermione on his progress in achieving Quidditch fame. Was Potter leaning in on their library discussions again? "What do you reckon, Potter? Any doubts ever exist?" Draco jeered. Potter's eyes brightened with a sharpness that gleamed in the shadowed light. "You do have that fancy broom your dad got you, a model unmatched." Often failing to match Slytherin's artful sarcasm, Potter's swipe still pricked at Draco's celebratory mood. "Suggesting all Slytherins should possess a Nimbus 2001, are you? Truth is, my father was more than capable of fitting them all out had I wished." "You really think that would win me over?" Draco realized he had failed to learn throughout their Blue Loop encounter, even up to now, each time hoping his antics would have the same charm on Potter. "Believe it or not," Draco said unwaveringly, "if you chalk my triumph up to a superior broom, feel free, but you know I excel as a flyer. Wait until our real match. You'd be naive to think it's solely about the broom." Potter shot him a challenging glare in an expression Draco vividly remembered since their duel in second year. "You're deluded." "Deluded like when you wrote me all those letters over summer, hoping for replies filled with sweet nothings? That must have stung, my silence, considering your gripping tales of Muggle follies. Did I hurt your tender heart? Not reciprocating." "Cut it out, Draco," Potter whispered intensely. "A letter now and then wouldn't have hurt, especially after you disturbed my relatives. Was your meddling pure entertainment? I find it hard to believe you never replied." "It seemed like you enjoyed the ruckus with your Muggle family," Draco countered. "And, according to you, seemed like they left you more at peace. No gratitude for that or for Ginny's safety. Gryffindor valor and honesty often skips listing their lack of gratitude." "Of course, we're relieved nothing happened to Ginny." Potter ran his hand again through his hair. He grasped Draco's shoulder then, as if stopping him from a retreat when Draco had initiated their talk. "However, her danger stemmed from your family. Even if you won't admit it, because you reveal precious little, not even to Hermione. You really hurt her, you know? Welcomed you into her home, told you everything, and now you stand a complete stranger." "You do know me." Draco swallowed the lump of emotion rising unbidden. You claimed to know once that my pretense didn't fool you. After what you saw at Ollivander's. You spoke against keeping your wand then, Potter mused, comprehension appearing to dawn. For the sake of Merlin, Draco lamented if wizarding's savior remained so obtuse. You felt cornered, your parents unhappy, yet no remedy existed because the wand dictates the wizard. Potter had a startling knack for recalling. In the heart of Hogwarts, a conversation between Draco Malfoy and Harry Potter unfolded, hinged on appearances and allure. And there you said I shouldn't fret, convinced I'd land a brilliant wand. Because you're Harry Potter, Draco interjected, refusing to give in to any nostalgic sentiment. Had your aunt's wand bonded with you? Did you reluctantly accept it when you would have rather not? Perhaps it was an irreversible blunder? My aunt was a deranged, homicidal maniac, Potter. Of course, I had no desire for her cursed wand, Draco responded sharply, feeling a jolt of irritation imagining how wrong the Gryffindors could be. They probably envisioned him as an artfully groomed dark wizard, gifted his sinister relative's infamous wand under the full moon during some grandiose rite. If only becoming a Death Eater had required such extensive training. Alas, it mostly involved Aunt Bella hurling the Cruciatus curse at him and demanding extravagant Christmas presents, with a particular weakness for snow globes. I don't want the wand, Potter. Really, who in their right mind would? But it seemed no wands at Ollivander's would respond to my magic. My father assumed I was a squib because of it. Carrying a wand like this is unsettling, but it's the only way I can wield magic at all. I didn't realize. I'm sorry, Draco. Truly I am, said Potter, his eyes filled with empathy that Draco found unbearable. We shouldn't have ganged up on you like that. Ron and Hermione were cross with me for singling you out before the teachers, but, Draco, it's incredibly challenging when you withhold secrets, especially when Ron's sister is at risk. If you'd just share these things with me, I'd be able to help. Curse Potter and his fledgling yet persistent savior syndrome. There's no salvaging my wand situation, Potter. Or my father's, for that matter. Thanks for keeping that under wraps. Please continue to do so, but nothing will change. If this complicates our little study arrangement, Draco refused to name it friendship. Inform me, and I'll gladly steer clear. I don't want that at all. Potter blurted, raking his hair restlessly. I just want to understand you, Draco. Bad parts included, and if you must keep secrets for your father, I'll attempt to understand if you'll try to explain. Draco, I want you around, and you being Slytherin Seeker, lets us compete. Draco decided it was time to put a damper on the sentiment. Also, I didn't request Snape to be my godfather, he inserted coolly, cutting through the emotional verbosity. Potter took a step back. I still can't fathom that, he groaned, aggrieved. He's constantly hostile towards me, and you've never mentioned it? I assume he's kind to you. Well, I hope so. I can see now why you're so attached to him. There were times I suspected you might have a soft spot for him. Snape? Draco spluttered and seriously considered casting Langlock. I've known him since I was a child. He's practically family. Yet smarter, funnier, and significantly less inclined to scuffle with Weasleys in bookshops. You've ever found Snape funny? Potter asked, incredulity coloring his voice. Then he paused, as though piecing a puzzle together. You two do share a similar repartee. Even your jokes match when you're mocking me. What led you to believe I was infatuated with a professor? No, Potter fidgeted. I assumed, since you seemed so convinced about being gay, you must fancy someone to be that sure. Snape was the only guy you voluntarily spent time with. Let's stick to two things, Draco declared, rolling his eyes. First off, cease making me cringe. Second, why my personal inclinations matter to you unless you're comparing yourself to others because you're smitten. If so, your clumsy wooing is comical. Potter turned crimson, practically warming Draco with his embarrassment. I don't fancy you, he spluttered. Then, in a flash of panic fit for a chosen one, he bolted from the courtyard as if it teemed with Dementors. Glad that's all sorted, Potter. Draco called cheerfully in his wake. The following day in the library, Potter joined Ron and Hermione at their study table, marking Draco's fourth triumph of the weekend. Harmony briefly reigned until Ron peeped over his book, launching unexpectedly with, "Okay, 1, I'm sorry. And 2, oh man, I've been dying to know, is it true you've got a thing for Cedric Diggory?" "What?" Potter yelled, drawing every curious eye. Merlin's beard. Draco's patience threatened to wear thin. Would he have to hex everyone from his year in Slytherin? But it seemed anyone could have overheard their chat. He'd leave it be. Not another word. Hermione warned with a scowl. If you get us expelled from the library, I won't be able to complete my charms essay. Then you'll flunk, be expelled, and end up working on the night bus? Draco suggested dismissively. The what? Hermione frowned, but Ron wasn't deterred. Do you, Draco? Ron pressed. Do you fancy Cedric Diggory? Am I supposed to forgive you, Ron? Draco jibed. Oh, hardly. You're lucky I've not reverted to calling you Weasley. No, do you fancy Cedric Diggory? Ron persisted, and both he and Potter leaned in, eagerly. Who knows, maybe. Draco shrugged nonchalantly. His broomstick skills are certainly admirable. Harry and Hermione stared at him, uncomprehending. You mean he's a talented seeker? Hermione asked while Ron stifled a guffaw. Merlin's beard, Draco. I've missed this, Ron wheezed, as Harry's fury mounted. Huh? Explain. Harry pleaded, searching desperately for clarity. Hermione, work it out. She shook her head. Hey, he whimpered, utterly bereft. Hey. It's a classic punchline setup. Someone might ask, what's the joke? When noticing something peculiar or expecting laughter to follow. The twist lies in an unexpected or clever response that turns the question itself into a humorous moment.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this chapter, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with more audiobooks. Happy listening!